If you wanted to give a woman advice on how to get attention from all the high value men in the world, the answer would be a virtuous, super beautiful 10 out of 10 high value women. So I don't think it's a trick, because I don't try to get women. I feel like I try to become the best version of myself I can be, and then women will naturally come to you. And that's as simple as that. And I know it sounds easy. It's actually the hardest answer in the world, because it's the answer no one wants to hear. Try to be the best version of yourself. It's as simple as that. Work out in the gym, read something, learn something, become interesting, become wealthy, of course, because the wealth comes with a fun lifestyle. Women love fun.
Yes.
That's why they like fast cars. That's why they like when you take nice vacations, because women love fun. And when you're that guy, you'll be surprised how easy it is. If you're sitting there lonely, if you're truly lonely and you can't get any women, I can't teach you anything. Because if you had the basics, you wouldn't be lonely. It's not actually the outside perception you have. I will walk around the city occasionally if I just finished training in sweatpants and, sneakers or whatever. And I know people know me. But let's even talk 3-4 years ago when maybe I wasn't so well known, but I was still dressing very well in my free time. It's how you feel in and of yourself. If I saw a beautiful woman sitting there at the mall sipping a coffee and I was dressed in, my beard was all messy, I had a hood up and I was in like sweatpants, the confidence, you haven't maximized your own confidence, if you know what I'm saying. When you're dressed really, really well, you just had a fresh haircut, you feel like a different person. So it's how it makes you feel first and foremost, like you could do anything. You put on a good suit. It's the same reason. I mean, this is universal across human nature. This isn't something specific to men. It's specific to women as well. It's every single person in the world. Women will do their makeup and do their hair and put on a nice dress, and then their personality, you'll know when you're hanging out with them, seems different. They're more full of their confidence. They're more their natural self. But definitely it's perception as well. People take you more seriously. People are more likely to stop and listen to what you have to say. If you're dressed like a homeless person and you try and disturb someone when they're walking past you, they think you want $1. People are much more likely to listen to what you have to say, and also makes you more memorable. Also makes you more memorable.
A lot of guys don't dress up.
Keep in mind, because you go for a job interview, you have to understand, even if you just bought your basic kind of shirt from a store and some pants and some shoes and you think you're dressed nice, that's like the standard issue job interview uniform. The guy who's doing the job interview, I know it's special to you, I know you've prepared, I know you think, oh fuck, I really need to get this job. He's seen 40 people today, 50 people today. Who was the guy in the really nice suit? That stands out, So also it burns you into people's minds and memories much more.
Yeah.
When people say the word Tristan Tate, oh yeah, he always wears nice suits. And let me tell you something. When you are dressed very well, you aren't in a place, you become the place. You become part of the ambiance of the place. Let's say you take the fanciest restaurant you could think of. Imagine a very fancy restaurant, right? And you walk in there and everyone's in beach shorts and Crocs and baseball t-shirts. It ruins the ambiance of the restaurant. So you're also doing your part to add to the aesthetics of a nice location. So if you go somewhere like Monaco to the casino, you can't get in wearing a baseball shirt and Crocs. They won't let you in. Doesn't matter how much money you have. But you go there dressed like me, or I'd probably dress better than this if I went to the casino. I'd be bow tied up and everything. I'm adding to the aesthetic of the place by just being a man in a $30,000 tuxedo standing by the bar sipping drinks. I'm adding to the place. Whereas if you go somewhere looking for a bum, looking like a bum, you're subtracting from the aesthetics of a beautiful place. And you can get a good suit for $300, $400, $500 if you go to Hugo Boss or something. But you can get much cheaper than that. And if it fits you well and you're in decent shape. Yeah. And if you're in decent shape, that's the key. If you
gotta be in shape.
If you work hard, it's like t-shirts. It's like t-shirts. You wear a plain black t-shirt and you're in good shape versus wearing a Versace t-shirt that costs $900 but you're fat as fuck. But you know what's the most important? Yeah. Don't be a geek. Because it's the man inside the suit. Yes, it's the man inside the suit. You give me a t-shirt and shorts and you put some of these dorks who hate on me in a $25,000 suit and watch who gets the women, watch who gets the business contract, watch who will pass any job interview. Me in my shorts. So rule number 1, don't be a geek. Women are always interested in learning new stuff. Yes. Women are always interested in hearing new things that they find interesting. And it always depends on the vehicle of delivery. Yes. It's the vehicle of delivery. If you're a little nerd who's like, oh, well, women should like me. I know lots of stuff. I read lots of books. Yeah, but you're a little dork with a pencil neck. Women aren't interested in even sitting down next to you, let alone listening to anything that comes out of your mouth. If they think, I might want to sleep with this guy, because you have to understand, before dates, especially when it's your 3rd, 4th, 5th date, the decision to sleep with you, go to bed with you, give you what you're after is already made usually by women before you go. So you just have to go out and freestyle it. If you're sitting there saying interesting stuff that she doesn't know, will she remember it? No. Will she talk about it with her friends? No. But they find things they don't know incredibly interesting. So yeah, become an interesting guy. when you're not looking for something serious, which none of you young people really should be. Yeah. Have fun.
I got one more question.
And when you're trying to have fun, don't ask what you don't want to know. Like, girls lie and girls aren't honest. So if you're 21, the girl you're dating or the girls you're trying to hook up with or whatever aren't probably going to be the girls that you marry.
Yeah.
You know, if you meet a girl and you think, oh, this is suspicious, why is her handbag so expensive, blah, blah, maybe just hang out, eat dinner with her, have fun with her, and when it ends, it ends. Maybe don't try to be, hey, what are you actually really doing? You're 21, shut up. One, she doesn't have to explain herself to you, but two, you're not in the position where you can offer something so serious. It's only when you finally establish yourself and you're looking for those girls that you perhaps, you know, want to settle down with, want to get married with, want to start a family with, where you need to be analyzing her past. So that's a game to play for the older dudes, I feel, rather than you youngsters. A lot of guys are like 19. How do I find a good girl? Maybe just, you know, become a millionaire and find one when you're 28. Maybe just shut the fuck up about finding a good girl.
Yeah.
If she'll sleep with you when you're 19, maybe that's good enough for now. I think the simple advice is accountability and self-reflection. What I would like you to do after watching this wonderful show, go to your bedroom, take off your shirt, strip down to your underwear, look at yourself in the mirror.
Pause.
Speak to yourself for 10 minutes. Think, if I didn't have this nice house and I wasn't stood here in this particular house with the Lamborghini outside and I wasn't this rich, what about me would women want? And if the answer is nothing, then you're only going to attract the women who are into your money and your money only. Because I've got loads of money. And I understand that women enjoy my company. They like being around me. They like listening to me. So if you have nothing but money, then that's what you're going to get, the girls who are after your money. You have to up your game in every single way and stop throwing the money around, and then you'll meet the girls who like you because you're strong and fit, who like you because you're smart, who like you because you're charming, who like you because you dress well, who like you because, I don't know, maybe you have class, you have etiquette, you have poise, you take them to things that they don't know, you take them to the opera instead of this club. You'll find those special girls when you are a man that those kind of girls will want. But let me tell you something. Most women I know are smarter than the millionaire streamers, the clowns who talk nonsense and do bullshit content.
They're aware.
Most women I know are smarter.
Yeah.
So you take someone smarter than you, who's after your money, she's gonna get it. You know what? I'm actually quite a good specimen of man. I'm good looking enough, I'm strong enough, I'm fit enough, I'm interesting enough. Yeah, I could see why women like me. If you can genuinely reflect in that way and you're honest to yourself and you're right, then you should be meeting good women. So of course they get the girls who are just after their money. I don't blame the girls. Everyone's going to complain about gold diggers. You're a skinny little pencil neck dweeb with nothing interesting to say. You're not manly. You're not physically attractive. You don't speak well. What else should they want?
Yeah.
What else should they want? They don't feel protected around you. They don't feel safe with you. Of course they want the money. It honestly doesn't bother me like it bothers you, because I think this is a dog-eat-dog world. And I think if you're going to make yourself a target, because the answer to their problem, they think the answer to their problem is more clout, more money, I don't know, maybe the good girl's going to come along. The answer to their problem is 3 years of hard work that they're not going to do. They're not going to do it, and they know that's the answer. They know that's the answer. 3 years of hard work is the answer to their problem, but they're not going to do it. So am I going to get mad at the at the lion for picking on the weakest gazelle?
Nope.
I'm not, because that's the way the world is. You know, I think the younger men should be seeing this, being like, oh, we got finessed by this girl. Okay, cool. And if they run into some money, they should be able to see. You can learn from bad examples just as much as you can learn from good examples. So the bad examples are out there for a reason, and it doesn't upset me to see. It upsets me when I've had friends who are really great guys, really hardworking dudes, try to be the best version of themselves, who've gone through bad divorces, who've gone through bad breakups. And yeah, that's sad. And it's sad to see women take advantage of men who are actually trying their best. But if you want to be the lame gazelle walking around with a limp, the lion's going to eat you. I don't actually feel sorry for them, and I don't care, because they know the answer to the problem. Everyone knows the rules to the game already. Everybody knows that if you wake up and you're lazy, and you sit around on your phone, you scroll on TikTok for 4 or 5 hours, you go to work at your normal job, you work your shift when there's nothing wrong with hard work, and there's nobility in working any job, and then you go home and you do nothing and you watch TV, you know you're not going to make it. It's not actually something that I need to tell anybody.
So true.
And they do this to me on Super Chats all the time, and they do this to Andrew specifically, because Andrew is a more accomplished fighter than me. They were like, hey Andrew, give me some advice on how to be a good kickboxer. Is there a gym near your house? Why aren't you there right now? Why weren't you there yesterday? Everyone already knows the answers, and they search, unfortunately, for cheat codes, for magic words that I'm going to tell you that are going to make you rich. You have to outcompete everybody else because there are only so many, although dollars can be printed in an unlimited amount, there's only so much wealth in the world. There are only so many Lamborghinis that are built every year. There are only so many mansions in every single country. There are only so many private jets and so many beautiful women and so much gasoline and fuel and food and caviar and all the crap that everyone wants. And there's only so much gold and so many Pateks and so many Rolexes that are made. You have to outcompete other people to get the things that you want. You know us. I am glued to my laptop and phone. All I do is work, and all Andrew does is work. So the fact that we've shown such amazing results coming from where we come from, there's no magic spell, there's no hocus pocus. I go back to my younger self, and I'd say, yeah, keep it up, because you're definitely going to make it, because that young guy who was broke is now me. Oh, the worst advice is great. The worst advice exists everywhere in the universe, and you hear it all the time. The worst advice, I don't know if the people in charge of the world put this out here on purpose, but you see it every single day. Some flowers take longer to bloom. Don't worry, your time will come. If you're not where you want to be today, don't worry. It's gonna happen. Your time's gonna come, your ship's gonna come in. That's the worst I've ever seen. And it's on the internet every day. You're going to start seeing it now. You're going to start seeing it. It's on the internet everywhere. You just scroll past it. You haven't taken in the bullshit.
Just
bro, it's terrible. Wow. And for any young person to sit there whose life isn't going right, who had a failed relationship, they're 21, working a dead-end job, but to see on the internet, don't worry, some flowers take longer to bloom. You're going to make it one day. Your time will come. And God, okay, great. Sigh of relief. My time will come. The internet said so. If you buy into that, you deserve to be poor forever. Like, panic mode is the best mode to be in. Things aren't quite right. Life sucks. My girlfriend just left me. Can't pay my rent. Panic mode. F the internet. Some flowers take longer to bloom. F my time is going to come. Panic. Panic and succeed. That's the worst advice I've ever seen. Happiness is the purpose of life, but not for yourself. Let me make sure that my children are happy. Let me make sure my mother is happy. Let me make sure any woman who comes into my life is happy. Let me even, because men don't have each other's backs these days, make my friends, my male friends, as happy as I can. But nothing about my quest for happiness is about, I guess, personal happiness. I do the things I like to do. I like to drive fast cars. I do these things because they entertain me. But I don't wake up every day trying to be happy. So I don't think happiness is the purpose of life for men. I think men should be trying to make everyone else happy. It's very ironic, actually, that they'll call old-fashioned men like me who want to provide for their women and not maybe have their woman have a job and provide for his family in the traditional way. They'll say like, oh, you just want your woman to be a slave for you. Okay, she might make a few sandwiches. Okay, she might cook a few meals. She might change a few diapers. But if I'm working 18-hour days, 7 days a week, I am the slave. Yeah. I serve people. That's what I do. The people in my life, I serve them. And by exchange, you know, they serve you back. You know, your daughter can make you happy, your wife can make you happy, girlfriend, mother, they can make you happy too. And just seeing the smiles on their faces is often enough for men. Success is a form of revenge. Success is the best form of revenge. I don't believe in getting revenge on anybody. I've had people screw me over for money, break my heart, upset me. Yeah, but I don't do it for the revenge. It just naturally happens. Being angry at someone is like holding a burning stone in your hand with the intention of throwing at them. Like, it might do them some damage, but it will do you more damage first. I don't hold on to these. I didn't need fuel to go and make something of myself. It's just naturally happened as a form of revenge. But success is a form of revenge. I think it's the only form of revenge. I would say your success in life and what you want to create for yourself is not pinned on me. I, Tristan Tate, can't make anyone the man that they want to be. There's enough of my content out there. My overall message can be summed up in less than 20 minutes. You could take everything you've heard from me, and just because I'm gone, or just because anything happens to me, just because, I don't know, I might lose both my arms and legs in a helicopter crash and not be the same Tristan Tate anymore. Your success isn't pinned to me, you know? You can go out there and make it, and you can go out there and do it, regardless if I'm around or if I'm not. And I expect everybody who listens to me and everyone who's a fan of mine and everyone who considers himself as somebody who subscribes to my message to not let anything that happens to me, even if they send me to jail for a decade, derail you. Because just in the way that your failures don't affect me, your success isn't linked to me. So go out there and do it anyway. That's what I would say. Message to my younger self. Most young people don't realize how rich they are. Money can't buy everything. And when I was 18, I was richer than I am today in some ways. I still had my father, for example. So I had no money, but I could call my father anytime I liked and talk to him and shoot the shit and just talk about life. Maybe I wasn't looking for advice. He didn't have much money. He couldn't give me advice on making money, but he was a very smart man, and regardless if the conversation was useful or not, I could have spent more time talking to him, and I didn't. You assume that the things that you have when you're young are going to be around forever. You assume you'll never die, your health will never fade, your parents aren't going to go. You assume all these things, and you live every day like every day is going to be the same. But if you're young, appreciate how wealthy you are. I mean, there are children in Palestine right now with no family at all dead. And they're in the world at 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, going to have to make it alone, with the help of some of my charity helps a lot of these kids out when possible. But yeah, if you've got both parents, a good home, food to eat, you're very lucky. Enjoy that wealth while it lasts, because you could make $1 billion. I could almost guarantee that when you're 60, your parents aren't going to be around, and you'll trade everything you have just to speak to them again. So you're wealthier than you think. Your life is better than you think. Appreciate the things that you have before you lose them, because you will lose them. It's not a matter of if mom dies, if dad dies, if my grandparents die. Assuming nature goes the right way, it will happen. It's when, it's not if. So my message to my younger self would be, stay focused, keep doing what you're doing. Don't change a thing, but, instead of watching that movie, call your dad. Instead of watching that movie, call your mom. Take her out for dinner if you've got a spare 50 quid instead of getting drunk with your friends. Appreciate the things you have. I'm trying not to let it feel normal, and I'm trying to stay humble, but it's very difficult to keep your mind switched on like it used to be 10 years ago in regards to the price of things. I don't know how much bread and milk are and various things like this. Or, when you spend money or when you buy a new car, the feeling of excitement isn't quite there like your first ever supercar. And I try my very best to think like the old Tristan. How would I feel at 19 if I had just booked this 140 grand private jet flight to Miami? How would I feel? Well, the thing is, I still have those people around me. Most of my friends who I've known for 15, 20 years, and I still speak to the same people. I mean, Rory, a lot of you know, Marcel, a lot of you know if you watch any of my content online. I hang around with the same people I've known forever. So, no, I don't ever miss the brokey days, but speaking about them with my old friends makes me appreciate what I have now.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So where did you go from there, Tristan?
From working at so we go from the sandwich shop to selling television commercials on the phone. Well, that business, there was a small venture where my brother and another senior salesman at that company decided to start their own venture selling TV advertising, because the boss ran it very badly, to be honest with you. And I was working for them for a while, but that business ended up falling into nothing. I mean, we have my brother, he's probably 20 years old at the time.
Yep.
First ever business he's run. The other guy, probably 25, 26 at the time, but very irresponsible. And the business ended up collapsing and falling apart because television advertising died. I think that...
What year is this?
This is... So I must have been 21, so maybe 14 years ago. So 2010.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough, yeah.
So the problem was, I think, that would be an impossible business to run nowadays. To call people and try to convince them to spend 20, 30, 40 grand to advertise on television, they'd be like, well, I can get my niece to make a TikTok video and try and make it go viral. And the internet has killed television advertising. Only the biggest of the biggest companies now do it. So there's no more medium-sized companies aspiring to do it. So if you're thinking of selling TV advertising or starting that as a business, good luck to you. But I think today it would be very difficult. And it started failing around 2010. I worked a myriad of various sales jobs, from selling windows to home improvements. I actually made a lot of money when conservatory insulation first kicked off. So conservatories are either too hot or too cold, and people were insulating the ceilings. And I worked for a company in Milton Keynes with a guy who actually my former boss used to know, the former television advertising boss used to know, named Andy. And he ran this ragtag outfit of random salespeople from all sorts of backgrounds to go around, knock on doors, cold call, anything you could do to drag clients in, any house with a conservatory. So I used to go out on rainy days or super hot sunny days or super cold days and leaflet houses in nice areas like Radlett, like Hitchin, like the areas close to Luton, where people had conservatories in their houses, and I'd follow up on the leads and stuff. And I was the top salesman at the company.
Selling white gold.
Yeah, and I was 22, 23, and I was making for myself well over £1,000 a week, which isn't bad, especially 10 years ago. Remember, £1,000 a week was
a lot of money.
It was a lot of money, and that was my first taste of ever actually having money. And when I mean having money, it means, which is crazy because my threshold on having money is very low because I've been very broke. Having money at 23 meant to me that when I went to the supermarket, I could get anything I liked. That was wild.
Yeah, you have to think twice about it.
It's like, oh, pot noodles, yeah, I can afford these.
Yeah.
Oh, a jar of olives that costs £5 because they got cheese in them. Okay, I can buy those. You could just buy whatever you liked from the supermarket.
Yeah.
That was mind-blowing. And that was my conservatory installation sales job. But I made very good money. And again, you learn a lot of very difficult lessons. You have the door slammed in your face. You have people answer the door with their dog barking at you. What do you want? And you're like, hello, sir. Well, I've noticed you have a conservatory, and you're trying to pitch them. It's very difficult. And I think the internet has killed that. I think that every single year for the last probably 100 years, up until 2010, salesmen got better and better and stronger, and the science was refined, and the science of sales was perfected. And I think now it's gotten worse. I feel like the younger generation aren't built to walk around in the rain and knock on doors and try to hustle money out of selling conservatory insulation or windows. Windows are hard to sell, bro. Everyone has windows.
Yeah.
Houses all have windows. And nowadays you have youngsters that are just like, oh, well, sales is hard. You know, I sent a bunch of cold emails. I didn't get a reply. Cold email is hard? You think copying and pasting and sending is hard?
Yeah, literally just
you don't know what hard
is.
is. Try dialing them on the phone.
Yeah.
You probably have a lot more success.
How did you do with negotiations? Not negotiations, rejections.
Rejections, I've always dealt with rejections very, very well. I was very pragmatic. When I got a no, I obviously store the number, store the lead, call them back next week just to see if it was a final no. I had a very organized system, and I think that's a key to my and Andrew's success. We're very organized people. He's probably more organized than me. He calls me disorganized, even though I'm 10 times more organized than the normal person because he's slightly more organized.
Yeah.
So quite annoying, but yeah, I was extremely organized. I was extremely polite. I was very polite with rejections, and I've been polite with rejections in every single way my entire life, which is the best way to be. Woman rejects you, be polite. Sales customer rejects you, be polite. Be polite always. Manners gets you, very, very far. And a lot of the customers who then maybe changed their minds called me back because I was such a pleasant, at the time, young man, and they liked me, and I built some rapport with them. So no, when you get rejected in anything in life, say you go for a job interview and you get rejected, always behave like a gentleman and always behave amicably, because it will eventually, if you live long enough, backfire if you start treating rejection badly. So I've always been fine with rejection. Doesn't bother me. Day to day right now, everybody knows my brother and I host a online educational platform called The Real World, and it's a fantastic platform. Anyone can go check it out on university.com. I bought that domain as well.
Yep, he was telling us.
The Real World is a very, very time-consuming business to run. I mean, hundreds of thousands of students all across the world. A bunch of different professors. Every day I have to check the course content. I have to make sure that people are learning. I have to make sure that people are benefiting from the program itself. I obviously have to do all the payroll, all the finances, etc. So that's what I spend most of my time on nowadays. It's a full-time job. I mean, me and Andrew are constantly working.
What do you actually do on a day-to-day basis? So, like, for that business, what is it that you got to do?
I am on my laptop.
All the time.
Everything is managed. This is what I mean about the internet being a powerful tool. There are people my age who are on their laptop all day, every day, playing video games and watching porn. I'm on my laptop every day managing this business, and I'm making millions and millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. So, again, it's about the use of your time. And again, I do things that maybe don't benefit me massively financially, but things I like doing. I mean, I plan all these Rumble streams twice a week. I'm live for 1, 2, 3 hours online.
The emergency meetings.
Yeah, got to write the emergency meetings, got to plan the emergency meetings.
Yep.
It's an amalgamation of throughout the day. I'll be like, oh, let's bring this up. Okay, well, let's say this about this. And we put these things together. So all day, every day, I guess I'm trying to spread the message and then manage the companies and manage the businesses. I made it up while I was talking on the emergency meeting, and that went super viral. People literally messaged me, hey, minus 1 minute sleep.
Yeah.
And I think, let me try to be more sensible in my approach to it now. And in fact, no, this is a very important question because I've recently implemented something in my life which proves my point. My point is, if I have things to do, I don't need sleep. So if you sleep 10 hours a day, 9 hours a day, 8 hours a day, which people say is the optimum amount, 8 hours of sleep a day, and people say, I don't have time to work out. My argument is always sleep 7 hours. Just sleep 7 hours. Wake up, do the hour of training. You might be a bit more tired, but then when you get in better shape, the training is going to take effect and you'll find yourself with higher energy levels than you had before. So when I say minus 1 minute sleep, my point is if I have 24 hours and 1 minute of work to do in a day, I'll get it done. And I don't care if I sleep or if I don't. So very recently, I started taking Russian lessons 2 weeks ago.
As in the language?
Yes, to learn the Russian language. So I typically wake up around 8 o'clock every single morning. I go to bed around 2. I sleep maybe 6 hours a night. What I did was, for these 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I scheduled my Russian lessons at 6:30 in the morning. Why? Not because I have that time, not because I like waking up at 6:50. Nobody likes waking up at 6:15. But because by the time I get up and my brain is engaged in this activity for an hour and a half of my lesson, I don't want to go back to bed. I'm already awake. So I'm learning Russian essentially for free. It's like free time that I've created just by telling my teacher to show up at 6:30. And I wake up at 6:15 miserable. Oh, I wish I could go back to sleep. But I get up because I have to, and it's done. The appointment's made, it's settled. And now, so I get 4.5 hours of Russian lessons per week. And how much extra time does it take me? Zero time. I've created it out of nothing by scheduling my appointments at unreasonable times, so I force myself to sleep less. So the whole minus 1 minute sleep thing was a joke I made, I guess, flippantly, but I apply that principle to my real life, and I'm doing it even now. And if I had something else important to do, say I want to learn fencing or tango dancing, I'd find a private teacher and I tell him, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have Russian lessons. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, show up at 7. Cool. Minus 1 hour of sleep every single day. And then I'm doing these things for free on time, which I've created out of nowhere. And I find it a very efficient way of getting things done. So anyone you know who says they don't have time for anything, ask them how much they sleep. You need 4 or 5 hours. You do anything additional, especially when you're young, is a luxury. It really is. So cut back on your sleep and up your training or up your work or up your reading or up whatever it is you're trying to do. The time can be created by getting rid of sleep. I think it's just how much you want it. I mean, the trick of booking the early Russian lessons, that's not discipline because I'm not setting myself a time to get up at 6:30. I'm actually committing wholeheartedly because this guy's going to turn up at my house and walk in with his Russian books and sit down. I'm going to be upstairs sleeping? No. Who is this guy? I don't want him walking around my house. I've got to be downstairs and I've got to be learning the lessons. So that's, I guess, a bit of a life hack because I'm scheduling it. But if you don't have such a strict schedule and you yourself need to get up at certain times because you want to get things done, let's take training. Training is something you could easily wake up at 6:30 and think, let me just close my eyes. Let me just not train today. I think it just comes down to how bad you want it. And I don't have any magical spell to give people to make them want it as much as I wanted it. But I feel like most men want the same things. Most men want money. Why? Not all men want fast cars. Not all men want $55,000 layers or expensive tailored suits. But money gives you the ability to take care of your family, to take care of your friends, can buy you the best health care. You say money doesn't buy health? Sure. Rich people and poor people can both get incurable brain cancer and it can kill you. However, if you get a normal form of cancer or you need a surgery like I needed on my shoulder, and I can go to the same surgeon who did Conor McGregor's leg and Roger Federer's elbow to get the best quality health care, money does buy health and rich people do live longer. So you need to just want it. And if you can't force yourself to do it, then I can't force you. It's very, very hard to make changes, even to yourself. If you think, like I've thought many times in my life, I need to change this aspect of my life. I need to party less. I need to sleep less. I need to work more. I need to train more. I need to make more money. I need to spend more time with my daughter. Whatever it was in life, adjusting your lifestyle to make changes in yourself is difficult. Not everybody can do it. So if you understand how difficult it is to make changes to yourself, you have to understand it is impossible to make changes to somebody else. If somebody else really isn't going to do it and really doesn't want it, they can listen to my emergency meetings for the rest of their life, 24 hours and 1 minute a day, and it won't change what they actually do. Exactly.
when it works for them.
So I just give the positive message out there that anything is possible if you do the work. And if you don't want to, I don't give a shit. I don't know you, people at home. I don't. If you stay broke, it affects me zero. But please don't, for the sake of yourself. It doesn't help me. But just don't do it. It sucks.